Testing 1, 2, 3. All right.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Welcome everybody to the Backroom Crew podcast. This is the first podcast of the new year.
Because it's
Happy
the first
New
day
Year.
of the new year, you derp.
Well, it is now, but we're gonna be uploading this probably like Wednesday, so we're gonna be like,
Okay.
don't be grumpy.
I'm not grumpy.
Don't be a grumpy.
He didn't have any black eyed peas. Of course he's unhappy.
No.
So, for today's podcast, since it's been about 3 weeks, and everybody should have saw the movie according to Josh, who wants to let
All
big
spoiler barriers are hereby null and void.
Hey, the internet waited a week. That was incredibly patient considering it's the internet.
I gave you 2 weeks before I started doing spoilers. Now it's week 3. And the world have seen it. If you have not seen it, you are not a true fan.
So, we are going to talk about it.
You just straight insulting Mimi like that, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, she's the one who refuses to go see it because it's not in May.
And Wes.
And Wes has free tickets to a movie, and he hasn't gone, so I do not feel bad.
I don't know. He's...
Of course. Star Wars is what we're talking about.
So, with Star Wars, we're going to split this up into 3 things. First thing, we're going to talk about what we liked about it. Second thing, we're going to talk about what could have changed, what we would have changed. And the third thing we're going to talk about is predictions. So, first thing. I guess everybody's in general consensus of what we liked about it. The Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
With the
TR-8R trader?
Yeah. With the baton.
Yeah, you know he's
the
got,
right baton.
You know they're saying he's got a background, right? Like a
really
canon, because you know that book, that 3 different story book that came out right after the movie got dropped.
Mm-hmm.
If you go and read Finn's story, he was part of a 4-man fire team as he was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
There was 3 other guys, and they all have nicknames. One was like FN 2900, and the other one was like 2999, another one was like something else. But they had like 0 and 9s and slip were all their like call signs.
Mm-hmm.
But Finn didn't have one because he was actually a pretty decent stormtrooper from what the book said. He like Phasma even said that he was supposed to be fast tracked, or he could have been fast tracked for officers training, but he cared too much about his guys. And in the First Order, that's a no. You let them die and you keep going.
Oh.
So they're saying that like the one that like reached up and touched him at the beginning and put the blood on, that was Slip because he always kept getting screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're speculating that the one with the riot baton is either 9s or 0. Because he instantly recognized him without his helmet on.
True.
So.
Yeah, so he had.
But he's a little beast. He was like, "Come on, let's go! Oh, you got a lightsaber? Whack! I got a stick."
So.
And I'm going to be the more interesting character than Phasma ever will be.
God, yes.
Yeah.
I hope he comes back in the end and be like some sort of super trooper. Like they picked him up and fixed him.
Yeah, I was talking, like, Davey and I, we were at a party yesterday talking about that. I'm like, you know, it'd be kind of cool if they resurrected the Dark Trooper program.
Probably.
And just had, like, First Order Dark Troops.
What'd you like about
Brain stop?
I actually liked Han Solo being a scoundrel again.
No, yeah, instead of being
some weird, like, I'm a grandpa and I just sit in my rocking chair and I talk about the good old days. Nah, he's out there on a freighter in the middle of nowhere.
Owing bad people lots of money.
Owing people lots of money, and he's got some bad thing on the ship, making it feel like it's aliens. Now, as an aside, I was informed because I didn't have enough time to recognize them, but apparently one of the 2 clans that got on board his ship were guys from the Raid and the Raid 2.
Yeah.
But they got, like, obliterated in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So they never got a chance to do anything. I'm like, oh, man, you just...
Well, I think when they had first got the parts, they had only, like, they said they had only were filming for, like, a day. So.
Yeah. But again, though, like, there were so many people in, like, the guy that Poe was talking to that he got the map from.
Yeah.
He played Emperor Ming in Flash Gordon.
See, I've never seen Flash Gordon.
Yeah, because like it bugged me so much because like he was talking like he was in previous movies, and I could not find him in any previous movies.
Yeah, but he's like, I'll always think of her as a princess. So I'm like, there has to be some significance there.
Yeah, so like and of course I haven't gotten too far into like the expanded universe. Of course, expanded universe doesn't count anymore, so it doesn't matter to dig into that.
Well, they've been. I have a feeling they're going to just take bits and pieces and
The stuff that
snips
makes
and
sense.
What they want, like
Yeah.
drips and
Ben
drabs.
Soto.
I mean, there wasn't really anything that I didn't like about the movie. Even the hardest part at the end with Solo's death.
Yeah,
That wasn't hard.
That-
you could
I mean,
see,
it
you
to
could
me-
see that coming from a mile away.
Yes, you did see that coming a mile away, which made it so much more painful because you knew it was coming. And then when it happened, you're like, no.
No,
And then-
but Solo was like, look, the kid's kind of screwed up in the head, and Leia's like, yeah, but there's light in him. You just got to give him a chance. And I'm like, oh, you just killed that man.
Did you see the lighting effects that was done in that scene though? Like
Oh,
whenever-
the freaking sunbeam that shined directly on it, and now it like slowly faded the black.
Well, but the thing about it is though, like you
yeah.
had like Solo, he was like white and bluish lights on him,
Yeah.
and then like when he started talking to Kylo Ren, it was like half white or half blue, half red. So he's like struggling between light and like right as he goes to kill him, he goes all red. I was like, that was really cool how they thought that through.
yeah.
See, I didn't notice that. What I noticed was the sunbeam coming in, and I'm like, look.
As it
You're
got
running.
closer-
You're running out of time. Literally, the sunbeam is like you running out of time because it's slowly.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it was also for like him struggling with his light and dark
Yeah,
half with it.
I don't know.
I'm gonna be
But-
completely honest. I like Kylo Ren before he took his helmet off.
Yeah, he's an ugly motherfucker.
No, it's not even that it's not a matter of
Before
cuteness.
that.
It's that when I saw his face, my respect level literally dropped.
That's kind of why he wears the mask.
You didn't
Yeah.
hold on. You didn't see him beforehand, like Adam Driver.
No, I've.
Oh,
remember,
yeah.
I tend to keep myself in the dark
Adam
about
Driver is-
actors and what they do before
Yeah.
and after.
He's a big nose, big
Ear,
ear,
big lips.
just
Former Marine.
yeah.
Oh, he's a former. I thought he was related to freaking what's his name? Snape, Alan Rickman.
No, he's yeah. No, he's a former U.S. Marine. But if you notice at the end of the lightsaber duel, he got that big gash across his face, so he can be ugly now, even uglier.
It's not like I know a lot of people like the fact that he threw temper tantrums. I didn't appreciate
But
that.
that's part of being a Sith in training.
Oh wait.
No.
Let's do that for something else.
All right.
Another thing I like Poe and Finn.
Oh yeah, that little bromance they had going on.
They were like
That was inexplicable. It's like you saved the guy once.
yeah, but it's like
Yeah, but you saved someone's life.
you have a
Yeah.
connection with someone. Like if you meet someone for the first time and y'all like have a connection, it's like you can't change that. It's
Yeah.
like you know.
Can I say how I was completely wrong about Poe though? I thought he was going to be the biggest backstabber in the entire film.
Really?
And then, like, as soon as he started talking, I fell in love with him. He's like, when at the very first time, he's like, "Do you talk? Do I talk? Who talks first?"
He was like just smooth.
Yeah, he's like, look in the face of the man that's probably gonna kill everybody if he had the chance. He's like, "Do I talk? Who starts? What's going on here?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was. I think his Oscar Isaacs was very.
He wasn't
good in
supposed to be in the full movie either. Like they
For
did,
real?
they did an interview with Oscar Isaac, and he was supposed to be killed when this TIE fighter got shot down.
that. Really?
Yeah, but then J.J. Abrams was like, you know what? I like the idea of having a badass pilot. So they brought him back into the script.
Yeah.
But there's supposed to be like some sort of like something happened to him back on Jakku.
Mm-hmm.
So they're thinking he might be like a sleeper agent now.
Oh.
That's a theory.
Mm.
That's actually a pretty good theory.
But yeah.
Because he did have a trainee that just rooting around in his brain.
So
Yeah.
anything else you liked about it?
I like that it felt like Star Wars and not like a political debate.
I didn't mind the political bits of the first movie. I hated my big issue with the first movie was the weird comedy and the romantic subplot, which I thought was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
I can get
Yeah.
I can get with that with it feeling like a Star Wars movie because it really did. It was a Star Wars movie.
How about all the Easter eggs they put in there? Like they even had the 501st flag in front of Maz's castle. I thought that was cool.
Really?
Yeah, like the actual charity group, the 501st.
Mm-hmm.
It's off to the left hand of the screen, like just for like a quick second, but you can see it clear as day, the 501st flag.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then there's other stuff, like you've got R2KT, the pink R2D2 droid,
Mhm.
was running around in the cantina.
Wasn't that one they introduced in like Rebels or something?
R2KT?
Yeah.
No, that's a charity R2 unit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like, I don't know who it belongs to. It's like one of the 501st of the R2 Droid Builders Association. But that one does like charity events. It was at
Oh.
NecoCon a few years ago. It was broken, it wasn't running, but it was at NecoCon.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
and of course, you know, like Daniel Craig being a stormtrooper and Simon Pegg being that dick.
Yeah.
Half person.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, that was him.
And Daniel Craig was the one that got force persuaded to let Rey go.
Huh.
So that was pretty cool. Alright. So, things we could have changed. I want to pull so much from the prequels.
Oh, you mean the previous movies?
Yeah.
Like the originals? It wasn't the prequels, it's the originals.
Well, the originals. I wouldn't pull that much from them because they basically took bits and pieces from the originals and made that movie. It was almost too much fan fiction-ish.
Yeah.
You know?
But I get what the writers was doing. They basically pulled the first two movies, the best scenes of the first two movies, and kind of, I feel like this movie was kind of like a salute to the old movies. We're going to respect the old movies. We're going to introduce all the new characters and set up the new lines and everything. And with the next movie, I really, really hope they do something completely different. That's not going to feel like a
rehash.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm 100% okay with the story. I'm not mad at it in any way, shape, or form. I understand that it's kind of like really, really close, but it's changed in such a way that it's still a story. It's still a new story.
But the thing is, they kind of made it, and I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm gonna go see it soon. They said that it's very similar to Creed, because Creed pulled bits and pieces from the other Rockies, and they made Creed, but they made it on its own unique thing.
It sounds like you guys are using way too many words to say that this movie is the Sprite remix of the Star Wars.
First of all, we don't talk about Sprite Remix.
Yeah, because
Sprite Remix wasn't that good.
It's like, are you serious?
I didn't like Sprite Remix.
Oh my God, no,
Yeah.
no. What's wrong? No. Why
I'm gonna let the
this?
internet think about this. Why I didn't like Sprite Remix.
Sprite Remix. Vote now. Vote now.
Surge.
Surge sucks.
Get the fuck off my couch.
No.
Anywho, back to the topic at hand.
Uh-huh.
I would have changed. I mean, it's hard for me to say what I would have changed because I've gone back and I've read the articles.
You gotta be...
I would have made Phasma way more...
She was a punk. She had no backstory. She was just there and
the silver armor. What makes the silver? Because I've never seen a stormtrooper in silver armor before.
They covered that. It's basically she salvaged the Nabootian royal craft and made her armor out of that. Because you got to think though, like after Palpatine was died, he had a after he was killed.
He died.
He had a contingency plan set up within the Imperium. So when all the shit was going down, when they were going to Jakku to basically regroup and figure out what the hell they're doing, and they're in this big power void, he had fire teams set up. Their whole mission was to go and eliminate like several planets. One of them being Naboo, basically eliminating all of his past and anything that could like figure out where he came from.
Okay.
So I haven't read the story, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's where Phasma got her armor. She went there and she like salvaged it or made her armor there. Because they were still old school stormtroopers and stuff during that time. So when they were making new armor, they probably made that from there.
I mean, the armor still doesn't really do much, apparently.
Well, if you have starship plating,
well, yeah, at that point,
as your armor, it's gonna stop. It's gonna stop small arms fire.
I'm just saying, like, she's the one who dropped the shields, so technically
she's the bugged me so much.
Yeah, that made no
You
sense.
are supposedly the captain of the guard. You are the highest ranking stormtrooper.
And you're in decent ass armor. The only way for them to hurt you is maybe if Chewbacca it was softened you up for about 20 minutes.
But the thing that bugged me the most about it is though, is like you are 100% bleeding for the First Order. You will die for the First Order. Why didn't you just go kill me? Just kill me.
You're not gonna get into the systems without me, so
problem solved. I'm not doing it. I will sit here till the planet blows up.
Plot device.
Yeah, but still though, for someone that's so dedicated to the First Order that she was so easily like, yeah, you got a gun in my head.
You're never going to succeed. You mean those strike bombers and all the guerrilla fighters everywhere? We're totally not going to succeed, right? But you know it'd make it harder for us to not succeed if you didn't drop those shields. Just saying.
And how the fuck can a person access the shield modulation code core, the control panel, from a fucking random ass panel in the facility. There's some fucking security issues going on in the First Order. I feel like that should be like in HQ of the planet. People can access that.
You can definitely say that consistent planning and thinking through ideas is not one of their strengths, considering they made 2-person TIE fighters.
Okay, I'm gonna argue with that on that. I like that idea.
The TIE fighter was a disposable strike craft.
Yeah, these aren't disposable though.
Yes, they are disposable. They don't have deflectors.
Okay, but the fact of the matter, they took a rocket, managed to fall through the atmosphere, and both pilots survived.
And I still call that bullshit.
Why?
So this was something you
remember
would
we were
change.
talking.
Yeah. We were
Yeah.
talking about it
No,
before.
because TIE fighters aren't meant to handle they're meant to handle high G maneuvers. They're not meant to handle extreme temperature variances and stresses.
So
Yeah, but
That's the reason why they have freaking Star Destroyers. The destroyers carry them where they need to go.
Yeah, but you got to think though. It's the First Order. It's a new army. They probably
yes,
took
but
the
it's
best
an
parts of it.
undirected fall through the atmosphere.
It's a ball. It could have just rolled. I'm stretching here, I know.
Yeah, you're really. And the fact that it survived, and not only did it survive, but the guy in armor, which I would have given.
Yeah,
because he is in stormtrooper armor, and the damn thing has to do something.
Plus,
but the prisoner was in nothing in a pod that had no life support, fell through the atmosphere, and he still survived.
Yeah, but the pod had life support.
No, it didn't.
Why were they both in there not wearing helmets flying through space?
Because they're escaping, and they had no other choice.
I'm pretty sure if they had no life support, as soon as they left the ship, they would have choked to death.
They have the atmosphere that is sealed in with them. But that's the reason why all the pilots, every time you see an Imperial pilot, the reason why they have that big old solid suit on with the helmet and the air tubes is so they can breathe because there's no atmosphere in there.
Do you know why our pilots wear air masks and all that other stuff? It's so when they go into a high G turn, they don't black out. A pilot suit is the same thing for them.
Yeah, but then again, if that's the case, then X-Wing pilots should do the same damn thing.
I would agree with you so heartily on that. I don't understand why they don't have flight masks.
That means that's the reason why I say it has to be a life support issue.
If you look at the Jedi, or not the Jedi, the Republic attack craft in Revenge of the Sith, the one that couldn't figure out how many pilots it needed had like 3 fucking people on that ship. They all had helmets that came down in front of them. Even though it was exposed, you can still argue that it was some sort of life support thing.
Didn't A-Wings have life support?
They had sort of the same
Most
thing.
Rebellion crafts are designed as long-range strike craft. Most Rebellion craft come with hyperdrive engines, shield generators, and life support because the Rebellion can't field large combat ships like the Imperials can, so they needed small strike craft that could go places and do things and then be able to retreat without any sort of support.
Like the only ship that could carry other ships was like the Mon Calamarian.
Mm-hmm. And that came in late because of the cost to build, man, and support those things.
Yeah, if you notice, they're always on a base. They're never just hanging out in space.
Right.
And if they are hanging out in space, the fighters are usually pimping around them. They're never inside the ship.
Well, though I think the Nebulon B could hold like maybe a wing.
Still, though, that's more than anything else they got.
So that's what you would have changed. You would have changed.
I would have just
included.
If the X-Wings can get a technical upgrade, and I still don't understand exactly what the performance enhancements.
The
The
way the wings are designed.
Yeah,
it's instead of being like 2-fold, they're like this now, or like that. It allows them to turn harder.
Okay, so better
basically
maneuverability.
It increased their maneuverability, and their engines on them were upgraded too because they're not 2 smaller engines. They're one big engine, but they're like look half, so the engines are bigger. I looked at that a lot too because I was like, what makes these different? And they also have the reverse turret that drops down below it, which I really think should be droid operated.
Yeah, some of that stuff is just it feels fiddly.
I feel like that was kind of like a good idea, but at the same time, I feel like you could have used it more, especially when like you're flying and a TIE fighter's coming up your ass.
What you're gonna have to think about is power consumption.
True.
So really, y'all are just on the technical issues,
like because you can't really.
Well, and some of the plot holes.
Yeah, the plot holes. The big plot hole with Phasma aggravated me the most.
Yeah,
because it still bugs me that if that's what his designation is, TR-8R ended up being more memorable than Phasma was in the entire movie, and she was in like 4 or 5 scenes while that guy got cut down in the first one.
But he just turns around and goes, "Traitor!" Drops his shield, pulls out his baton stick, sees a guy with a lightsaber, and he knows full well what a lightsaber can do because of Kylo Ren and his chaotic mess.
Mm-hmm.
And just goes at him. And he literally... Yeah. But I mean, I can't change too much about it because, again, like I've said, I understand why they did it, and I really hope in the next movies it's a continuation of a new story, not a rehash of like Jedi or something else.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I still say this particular film in the new trilogy is a torch pass.
It needs the next one really needs to be good. It's not gonna be J.J. Abrams anymore, so
it's gonna be Ryan something.
I thought it was Garth Edwards. Or is he doing?
I don't know. Like it's changed like 3 times every time I look at it. So I'm hoping somehow J.J. Abrams gets his hands back in it as executive producer or something along those lines.
Yeah,
but it's the same writers. It's the same writers. So we shouldn't be that too far off the mark.
It's all about editing in that case.
Yeah,
editing and direction. But what else? I don't know. Like the entire when I really sit back and I think about it. I remember seeing, I remember some of it's, this is really, really cool. I like, it's almost like Tron, where Tron...
The remake or the original?
The remake, where, if you sit down and watch Tron, you're like, man, a lot of this is cool.
But it's the same stuff rehashed.
Yeah, there's nothing
it's
new
because
here.
In the Tron universe especially, it's the first movie, you had to set up that whole world and explain how everything works. In that new one, you've already got that out of the way. You can do whatever you want. It's basically like if you got a brand new video game, brand new everything. Here you go. We're going to tell you the story. We're going to give you everything in this game, and then the next one we're going to improve on that. You don't have to go into such detail over how things are the way they are, and you can spend more on improving this or improving that.
Mm.
Remember, the first one is always the most complicated one because you have to establish the rules of the universe.
But that's basically what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, when I sit back and rethink about the movie, I don't remember it with I remember the Raid 1 and Raid 2, and I get a feeling of hype when I think about it. Right, I remember enjoying it when I saw it, but as far as recollections, I get a steady meh.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's got their own take on it, but anyway, let's move on to theories because we can talk about we can nitpick on this all day between me and him.
My big theory, for one thing, I think Rey is a Skywalker.
I like that theory.
I disagree with it.
I'm 75% sold on that theory, but now they've got the Kenobi theory. That she's a Kenobi. And it makes a lot more sense to me because maybe she's not his daughter, but his granddaughter. Because you think, though, he had that little fling with the Queen of Mandalore. And what's she? She's the queen of the Boba Fett Spartan type people.
And they are nomadic at this point.
Yeah.
So you're thinking what they would do is make her a Mandalore and go to train with Mandalores like Jaina did?
No, she might be a Mandalore, but she has no idea what her heritage is. They never really explained what her family was.
And the theory behind that is that whoever trained her, because she has some sort of knowledge of the Force. You can't tell me someone is that... You can't Jedi mind trick somebody with not having any knowledge of the Force.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're Jesus, which Anakin was Jesus.
I wouldn't say... I would put her more along the lines of an untrained Kwisatz Haderach at this point.
Still.
But it's kind of like she's smart and she can put 2 and 2 together. So
her reflexes
and being
really
being Force sensitive as she is, she's like Han Solo's luck, but luckier consistently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at episode 1 where Anakin Skywalker was the only human to be able to run a pod right because you had to have your reflexes through the freaking roof. Mm-hmm. It's the same theory.
Yeah. She's just consistently luckier. So I figure at this point she's run into it enough that she kind of has a basic idea and understanding. Because remember, the Force command didn't work until the guy was standing right next to her looking her in the face.
Plus, as you'll notice, every time she actually uses the Force, she forces it, and then she goes, and then it works because she calms her mind.
Well, yeah, because she doesn't know how.
She doesn't know how to
leash the steed yet.
She's undisciplined.
She doesn't know how to leash the steed yet, so she has to calm everything down before she can do anything.
But I see her being somewhat connected, more so to Skywalker, and I really
Ben?
Who?
Kenobi? You mean Kenobi? She connected to Kobe?
Hold on.
Or connected to Skywalker?
I see her being more connected to Skywalker, but I really hope she's a Kenobi. Because you got to think, though, the Ewan McGregor Kenobi brought such a myth and lore to Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, he was a beast of a Jedi.
Yeah.
You gotta think, though, he was one of only 2 Jedi that survived, and the only one that survived beside him was Grandmaster Yoda. Granted, in Rebels and the whole aftermath, like, they were hunted down and whatnot, but he managed to elude them.
Wasn't like canon?
Yeah.
Yeah, canon. Yoda, at the time of the New Hope, Yoda and Kenobi were the only ones left alive.
That were actually trained Jedi.
Yeah.
There were some people that, like, walked away from the training.
They dropped their flags and they bounced.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Like canon was the Padawan, right? From Rebels.
Yeah. The one with, like, the ponytail?
Yeah.
Like, he was Padawan, and Order 66 happened, and his master, I think, protected him, and he got away, and he gave up training as a Jedi, but he still, like, I think he was, like, just almost a fully fledged Jedi Knight when he dropped out.
Which means you could probably pick it up again if you
And
wanted.
Ahsoka, she carries the lightsabers because she's not a Jedi anymore, but she's trained.
What is she?
She's basic. She's pretty much a bounty hunter at this point, but she's more comfortable with lightsabers than she is blasters.
So are they gonna end up showing her in this, or are they gonna?
Ahsoka?
Yeah.
She died.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them just died.
She, I think, ran into Vader. Killed a lot of them.
Yeah.
Vader, that's his whole point. He's like, I'm gonna find you, I'm gonna kill you, because that's all he did for the 16 years before New Hope was just hunt down.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the reason why Kylo Ren. I think that's the reason why Kylo Ren idolizes Vader, because Vader is a symbol of order. Order and control.
Another it's kind of like a theory that I had, but it's kind of like more of a recognizing like everything with this. I think they are really marketing this more towards females, because when you look at all of the male characters, like male main characters versus the female main characters. You had 2 female main characters, well 3 if you count the lady with the glasses and everything. Yeah, if you count her. They were all they were stronger. They weren't as broken.
Yeah. Well, even Princess Leia back in the day was strong.
Han was broken.
Yeah, but she was also constantly getting captured.
Well, that's the whole princess mentality.
Yeah, Han was broken. Finn
she was captured once.
Yeah.
Once.
Finn was like a kind of,
he
inexperienced.
Finn was the one that was one of the few guys who looked into the mouth of the beast and went, nah.
Yeah.
He said,
I'm going to put my best Nigerian and get the hell out of here.
This is a bad idea. I just, no.
Kylo was broken.
Kylo was broken because of his Sith training.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's whatever Snopes told him.
Snopes?
But you...
Snopes.
But you look at...
Snoop.
Schnops.
Snoop.
Schnops. Schnops.
Can I talk about that theory?
What?
Oh my god.
That he's Plagueis?
Yeah, and remember Rey also, she was... Plagueis.
That one I have got the biggest hard on about, because it makes so much sense to me, and it makes sense in the canon that Snoke is Plagueis, and for those who don't know, that Plagueis is Palpatine's master, and Palpatine, of course, was the Emperor. And Palpatine killed Plagueis because he wanted to learn how Plagueis mastered immortality, and he would not teach Palpatine, so he's like, you know what, I'm just going to kill you. Here's where my theory comes in, and this is what I really, 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 really hope to happen, because Plagueis mastered the ability to create life out of nothing but the Force. I really hope that he saw into the future and realized that Palpatine was getting betrayed him, or at the time it was happening, he was smart enough to go, you know what, I'm going to create something that's going to be really, really powerful and stop you from doing whatever you need to do and just fuck your plans up, basically. And basically, that's why Anakin Vader was created like the Virgin Mary story. Just, I conceived him, I carried him, I had him. There's no father, I don't know. And that's why also his midichlorian level is off the charts, is because Plagueis created the perfect weapon to use the Force.
He is the Jedi chosen one.
But I feel like he wasn't supposed to be found by the Jedi. I think he was supposed to be found by the Sith. And then trained up. And I feel like Plagueis was eventually going to take over his body. Because Plagueis has a very frail, weak body. He's extremely powerful with the Force, but he's very weak physically.
Well, that's generally the biggest downside to being a dark side wizard, is that it does take a toll on your own personal life energy.
But that is my theory that I hope comes to fruition so much, because I got in an argument with somebody because it's going to take too long to explain it. It's like, I literally just explain it in like 5 minutes. You do a little montage and have like freaking Plagueis explaining stuff in front of everybody.
So you think that's what Snopes meant by I know it's probably Snoke, but I like saying Snoke. Leave me alone.
It's Supreme Leader Snoke.
And Snoke just sounds funny.
Snoke. You want Snoke?
No, but that's what do you think he means by further training? Is just prepping him for a, if not possession, then a merging of consciousness.
I think in that case is that he's actually going to finish his training, as he's going to be he's going to get his Darth title, which if he gets Darth, what is it, Sidious?
He can't get Darth Sidious.
Well,
because he's not. Sidious is short for Insidious.
Yeah, but which one was the Solo kid in the canon?
Cadius?
Cadius?
I think.
Because it was one of the twins of the Solo.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah. It was the Jason. Yeah, Jason Solo. I think that his name's Cadius. I think. Or they may just make him Darth Ren.
No, because it has to be basically the way the titles work is that the second part of the Darth title kind of describes your personality.
So Darth Emo?
Well, you gotta think though, Vader was all about protecting his family. That's why he went to the dark side.
He was all about protecting his family by rushing into places. He invaded places to shut them down.
Or you could use the German vernacular for Vader, his father.
Mm.
So however you want to turn that one, that's a whole nother debate for another movie. But that's my theory. I really, really, really hope comes together.
All right. So.
Annie? Me, I kind of hope, because it's a hologram and you can never be too certain about what's on the other end of a hologram, I kind of hope it's Luke Skywalker playing like a big old double game.
That would be funny.
Like
and he's just like, where he's like insane as fuck, so that dark side influence is still in him. Might be something that was left over by the Emperor when he struck him with that Force lightning years ago. But that influence is still in him, and it comes out that way, which is the reason why he bounced out the way he did, because he recognized years ago that he was just losing it, and so he wanted to hide himself away before he could do too much damage.
I really hope
mystery box.
I really, really hope when we see Luke Skywalker actually engage in some sort of lightsaber combat, he's more badass than Yoda.
No.
I mean, you gotta remember though,
Luke
Yoda's
never
like the
formally
best.
Finished his training.
Yeah, but you gotta think though, all he's been doing for 30 plus years is he's been talking with Force ghosts.
He's been so he's honing his ability, but that still doesn't make up for actual practice.
Yeah.
Who is he going to practice against? There is nobody.
He can go, and they have proved this in the canon that he knows what tree creates that weird Force vision. The one on Dagobah that he saw Vader. He actually gave, that's a whole nother canon thing, the Poe's parents. He gave one to Poe's parents. We'll get into that one later. But I feel like he has found, or he has grown a tree somewhere on that little island escape, or somewhere on that planet, that he can go in there and fight, or train against Darkseid, or wherever he needs to do. Plus, you also got to remember, though, he is trained enough, or he is knowledgeable enough in the Force to actually use the Force Ghost, or actually communicate with the Force Ghost. ObiWan, who hopefully when they show him now, it's Ewan McGregor, because Sir Guinness died.
Yeah.
So I hope
Sir Guinness hated freaking Star Wars anyway, apparently.
Yeah, but he was old school. But hopefully it's just Ewan McGregor just sitting there like, what did you learn? And then of course Yoda, and then Anakin is supposed to be in there.
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen, but he really doesn't want to come back.
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty sure 10 years of just hate mail.
Yeah.
Well, that, and he just kind of like, I don't feel like I deserve to be as famous as I am because I feel like it was handed to me.
Yeah, and that's him playing it down.
Yeah, but still though, but you get, and plus, that doesn't mean like he couldn't contact or reach out to other Jedi. Like he might very well have been able to reach out to Mace Windu.
True.
Or any other really high level Jedi.
No, but at the third one, it's not every Jedi knows that, because in the third Star Wars movie, and they pointed they like, I missed it the first time, but when I watched the Annie Cheese edit, in Revenge of the Sith, Yoda literally goes, turns to Obi-Wan and is like, "No, I need you to go and hide this kid away. I've got some special training for you."
Yeah, well, Yoda
you have to train to use that technique, and Qui-Gon is the one who told Yoda how to do it.
Yeah.
So, and Yoda didn't have enough time to disseminate that information to a lot of Jedi.
But then how does Luke know how to use it?
Because Luke can talk to... Okay, Luke has a connection to Yoda via ObiWan because ObiWan can talk to Luke directly.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works. Is a direct connection, power. A direct connection enables you to be able to enables you to contact them.
Yeah.
It's the same way that Leia knew when Han Solo died.
Yeah, but that's this feeling of the Force, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a direct connection. Like, the stronger the bond between master and student.
Can we talk about, I want to see Luke's face when all those planets exploded?
Let's talk about...
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, let's talk about something. Well, let's go ahead in that because the video might be up, so...
Yeah.
But we'll keep talking. If you like this video, give us a like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good-ish down below and up above.
If you like our theories and you want to go discuss more about it, please reach out to us. I want to nerd out so much about it.
Just contact us on Facebook and,
Facebook, Instagram,
Twitter.
So, YouTube. Please comment on our YouTube page.
Oh, yeah. So, this has been Backroom Crew, and we'll see you guys next time. Remember social class, act like you've been to work with. Peace.